3 Bright Tales by Aesop. Hello, this is Natasha, and I'm here with 3 short stories by the Greek storyteller Aesop. Aesop's stories have been told and retold many times since he first collected them in the 6th century before Christ. They are also known as fables and are well known for the moral messages they tell. On Story Nori, we have a tradition of turning his stories around and telling them in the voice of one of his characters. See if you can guess who is speaking this time. In the morning I am soft and gentle. In the middle of the day I am harsh and white. When the evening comes I rest my head on the mountains. Yes, as you have probably guessed by now, I am the sun. All day long I look down on the earth, and I see all the things that go on, all the wisdom and the folly, but mostly the folly. As for the things that go bump in the night, I don't see any of those. But I hear all the best gossip from my pretty lady friend, the moon. From my vantage point, I can't help but see a few juicy stories unfold. I will tell you them today, and with the help of the great storyteller Aesop, I shall give you a moral for each of them. My first tale is of the Milkmaid. Only yesterday I looked down and caught sight of her. I did not fail to notice how pretty she was. I watched her going along the lane with a pail of milk on her head, and my rays set off her blonde hair and made her heart happy. I could see that she was chatting away to nobody but herself. I tuned in my ear and listened to what she was saying. "This lovely creamy milk will give me plenty of butter to churn," she said. "Yes, I will make the best butter, and I will take it to market. I will get a good price for my butter, and with the money I make, I will buy a lot of eggs for hatching. How nice it will be when the yard is full of fine young chicks. Then, when May Day comes, I will sell the hens, and with the money, I'll buy a lovely new dress for the fair. All the young men will look at me. They will come and try out their smooth talk on me. But I shall very quickly send them about their business." She smiled as she thought of the witty one-liners that she would deliver to all the smooth-talking young men, and as she imagined the scene, she tossed her head scornfully. But oh, down fell the pail, and out spilled the milk onto the ground. The white creamy liquid trickled into the ditch, and with it the pretty maid's daydreams, her butter, her profit, her chickens, her eggs, her new dress, and her vain young men all disappeared into the ground. I looked down on all this and tried not to smile at the poor milkmaid's misfortune. But I could not help remembering the words of a wise old lady. "Don't count your chickens before they're hatched." It's a very valuable lesson in life. Juno and the Peacock. My next story is about the peacock. He is the most royal of birds, or so he thinks. When I shine down with my bright rays, he loves to open up his feathers to show off all his wonderful colours. How he gleams with emerald gold, purple and azure. Why, he is so shining that he considers himself a worthy rival to me. But he was not always so bright and beautiful. His life abruptly changed when, one day as he was pecking grass by the lake, he met the goddess Juno. He knew that his chance for transformation had come. "Divine Juno, lovely goddess," he said, "why are my feathers so plain and ordinary? I want to be beautiful. I long for everyone to admire me. And, in fact, I want to be the most indisputably magnificent bird in the world. You are a goddess. You can do this for me in an instant. If you work your will, even the emperor will admire and envy me. I pray, dear goddess, make me magnificent." Juno looked at the dull and ordinary bird and thought, "How vain and pretentious he is. I will give him what he wants, but I will teach him a lesson." When the peacock next saw his reflection in the water, he realized that she had granted his wish, for he was beautiful beyond his dreams. His feathered tail was more magnificent than the tapestry that hung behind the emperor's throne. The other birds gathered around to admire him, and now he strutted up and down like a king. And how he patronized all the scruffy farmyard birds, the hens, the geese, the ducks, and other such riffraff. But the other birds were not gazing at him as he thought they should. They were looking up to the sky. He looked up too, and he saw how the powerful and kingly eagle span out his wings and soared high into the heavens, so high that he flew up to wish me good morning through the clouds. Who could doubt that the eagle was the most royal of all the birds? Not the ducks and the geese, who squawked in homage to the soaring king. "Pah!" said the peacock. "I will fly even higher." He lifted his wings, but they were heavy and weighed down with decorative feathers. Yes, he looked wonderful, but the sly goddess had made him pay a price for his beauty. He could no longer fly. I thought as I looked down. That peacock is all show. Oh yes, there is a good moral in this tale. Don't harm your strength and your health for the sake of beauty. It's not only feathers that make fine birds. The wind and the sun. And my last story features a truly radiant character. This, if you will permit me, is a story about myself. I have a rather gusty friend called the North Wind. I was watching in amusement one day how he tormented a man who was walking along the road. He was trying to blow the man's hat off. And how he huffed and he puffed with all his might. But the man was wise to him, and he held his hat firmly down on his head. I laughed. Ho, 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 North Wind. That man's got one up on you. Well, I bet you can't do any better, hissed the North Wind testily. I bet I can, I said, and I shone down with my warmest, most health-giving rays. The man felt gladness as he walked along. He smiled, and then he took his hat off to cool his head. There, you see? Gentle and kind persuasion win where force and bluster fail. And that was the story of the North Wind and the Sun. The third of 3 Aesop stories told by the Sun. I do hope you enjoyed those fables, and that you picked up a few pearls of wisdom. In the story of the Milkmaid, we learned that you shouldn't count on something good happening before it has actually happened. In the story of Juno and the Peacock, we saw that looking magnificent like the peacock and acting magnificently like the eagle are 2 different things. And the moral of the last story is that it's often much more effective to use kind persuasion than brute force. And so there are a few Aesop's morals that we can learn from. We have quite a few more of Aesop's fables at storynori.com, and they are all told from an original point of view. So drop by and listen to some soon. For now, from me, Natasha. Bye-bye! For now, from me, Natasha. Bye-bye!